Hello, welcome back to Blender CC LiveNoding. In this episode, I want to share you these creations. It's all procedural, created using geometry nodes in Blender. This something that's looking like a UFO, like some kind of squid style inspired UFO. This was actually inspired by Gaijin Otosan. He posted the other day on Twitter. He discovered this in the middle of nowhere, some kind of bunker, maybe like a house, little house, human-made. Definitely, it looks like it shapes like a soccer ball, but it's also kind of like a UFO thing. It's very interesting. I decided, okay, maybe I can recreate this inside Blender. So this is what I did. So yeah, currently it's floating. It seems like, yeah, it's like it could be like a human pod, maybe a single person with his dog and robot can live inside it if it's portable. But let me explain. Let me actually stop this and let me explain the design. So this has two different material that you can definitely modify and customize. And the squid itself is made of something like a soccer ball. First of all, let me turn off a couple of things. The animations is being turned off. And then the design of the ball itself originally is looking like this. It's just like a soccer ball. If I started to modify this using transform, you will start to see there's something that's obvious. Okay, it's pretty weird that geometry nodes kind of work this way, but this is probably something that you will understand in a bit. So first of all, I start the design using Icosphere. Okay, it's very simple, Icosphere, of course. And then I use a dual mesh. Without the dual mesh, it's just gonna be not what you wanted. But Icosphere design is interesting enough that if you use it with dual mesh, you get this like hexagon. It's basically like a soccer ball. Alright, so the next thing I did is to give a material, just assign the material for everything, while the second material is assigned based on these nodes. Face neighbor, if it's less than 6, give it a certain material. So I think this face neighbor, there are other neighbors node as well. Something you can try. This is context sensitive, whether you are working on vertex, face, on edges. In this case, I want to target the face, and some face have 6 neighbor, some face have 5 neighbor. If it's less than 6, just give it a different material, which is the second material over here. Okay, so that should be kind of obvious. And the next thing I did was just a bunch of extrusion. So that's really just for the inside. This is, by the way, this is like a super easy example, but hopefully this is kind of useful. Like there's a couple of things. Okay, in this case I extrude everything, and then based on the combinations of face neighbor, this is like some kind of logic Boolean that's becoming like selections, selection masking. And I think this is really powerful if you work procedurally and in geometry nodes. Currently, this is the way you can do like masking. Okay, the next thing I did was to compare the position of each face based on the position, based on its position. So I separated the position of each face, or actually, yeah, it's actually more like point position. If it's less than this value or higher than certain value, it will create this bottom bit. So based on the combination of this face neighbor logic and this logic that's the position is under this value, I can control this extrusion. So to create like a Yeah, I look at this. It's looking like a ball with legs, right? It's like an octopus or squid, sort of. I just extrude it out. Oh yeah, I did a bit of inset. This is like an inset, and I extend it. I like the design. It's really simple. It could be just like a HomePod mini with legs. So this is the extension of the legs and the scale. This is an extra scaling, kind of like solidifying the shapes. I think the shape's really interesting. So this one is the subdivided version. Original version with bevel. Second version with subdivisions. And okay, the next thing I did, of course, there's this extra offset just to place it on the ground. But if this is like a UFO, then it should be spinning and going up and down. Okay. So this is how I created the design. I make it goes up and down in this mode. I mean, at the very end. So this is more like for the animations. I use the scene time and sine wave, and then also the rotations being multiplied, so I can spin it faster or slower. I thought that's kind of cute. On top of that, I actually changed the design a little bit, like that, and controlling the shape. Yeah, I make it looking like this. Probably would be better if we can kind of control this, you know, like spaceships going to fly, so it's gonna goes inside, so this can be animated. Or when I scale this shape, the design also changed slightly, so it could be taller or shorter. So it's a little bit like a tripod design in some alien movies. So that's kind of cute. Yeah, it's basically like a soccer ball. I think the shape could be more like a disc. The bottom and the top part could be slightly different, but I like this design, and thanks to Gaijin Otosan, this is very interesting design. I thought maybe I should try to make like a proper windows and door as well. Then this could complete the design a little bit more. Maybe something that we can do in the near future, or you can modify this yourself. You can just copy the nodes tree over here. I will share with you. Yeah, that's the design of this UFO. Or if you want to make changes like material, usually each objects or geometry in Blender, you can have like multiple material here, right? If you want to pass it outside so you can adjust the parameter, all you need to do is just to plug this out into the group input. So this goes over here. Now this guy can have different material. So if you want to have like a different color, right? It's very easy to change. Alright, so yep, hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.